Good morning, everyone. Welcome to God's Grace on Thee. Today is Friday. It is the 19th of July in 2024. It is 7:56 a.m. Today I'd like to bring you a reading, Chapter 1, from Phone Home, E.T. Reach out and touch someone, like God. This is the Pleiades Connection, Volume 5. Let us begin. Chapter 1, Recording 1, Jesus Ananda, Monday, July 15th, 1991, 7:56 a.m., Year 4, Day 333, Monday, July 15th, 1991. Isu, present in radiance of Creator. Blessed that you might find blessings and abundance. Why does man remain mired in the mud of the rut when the highway of life has been paved for his journey? Because that which would retain him in the mire has hidden the path of truth from him. Why does man discount that every one and ones for whom he has waited, lo, the many eons? He believes this day that which was projected in a time long ago, past there are no witnesses unto the tales. The witnesses thereof are sent again to unravel the morass of tamperings, and he turns away from man, is trained to live either in the past of his gone experiences or toward that which will never come. There is only now, and yet man fails to acknowledge, for he wants not that of the now. Only in the experiencing shall man come into vision of that sense. It behooves you all to look about you, for there are those who say, these the prophets manifest unto us, these the liberators give us their blessings. Those who lie without the pale of conscientious things recognize them not, neither know them at all. Thus are we favored by the princely ones, the watchers of eternities, the composed in spirit, the God of omnipotence, and never cast upward. It is extraordinary to follow in their footsteps and participate in their increase, even for commendation, for labors done honorably, with noble and honorable principles. God is abundance, and from him springs all goodness. And it is ethical and honorable to receive of the rewards, for man must learn to receive that which is from God, just as he must learn to give and re-give. Would it not be greater, however, to say, the poor in spirit have dwelt among us, and removed the covers from their lights? We have seen that light burn greatly. Behold, it burns. It cannot be extinguished. It is a lamp of a true gift of benefaction, which comes unto all men everywhere. But the lowly have lighted it, in that they were lowly in pride and defiled, not the doctrine with a vomit of loud ravings and attestings of their own valor and heroism, knowing not of their own valor until it was manifest. Therefore I speak to you. He who goes out by a door of lecherous and immoral performance or declaration unto his brother and his brother's life lives not in elation and joy, but lives in pain and sadness. He raises no joyousness unto those who have blundered, who know not the pathway, who perceive not the light of radiance. And those with a great gift for preaching unto the multitude often acclaim that man in his humbler state has a greater glory attesting to him. I say that, except we do marvel at the greatness of severe poverty to cure the wicked heart, to overcome the doctrines of the lecherous, to make a fair smoke of all transgressions, and burn them on the altars of atonement. We know not the law that upsets the conflict and brings the peace that enchants the spirit. We must be given into recognition of that which is cured, but not of the point that it is in poverty. To simply have poverty for expression of attention, to look how hard I try, as I have given all, is not necessarily a measure of purity, but in fact is only to gob on the facade to greater thickness to delude fellow man. It shall never delude God, nor will it ever delude self. I speak to those who have knowledge of intangible presentation, as those who have confusion in application of the mighty principle of love everlasting, performing into redundancy. Go not out of the door of false reckonings, of unserious performances, of dull perceptions, and unworthy arrogance, into the garden of majestic spirit, but move out most quietly, leaving no man the wiser that escape has come unto you. And let it always be the truth, and not the truth bringer, which is left to the meditation and knowing. Many are starved and thirst for righteousness, but do not know the vessel by which it is satisfied. Truth will stand into eternity, and never should the work be clouded by the speaker thereof. If a man speaks, it is usually with his own opinion regarding the subject in point. How do you speak unto another? Softly? Show them, beloved, hand them the cup, give them the dipper, open the stopper stone of the vessel that surmounts the well, and hold their cups beneath the fountain. But you cannot drink of the contents in their stead. It is all part of wisdom that sees the majesty in little reckonings, in tiny accountings, spirit unto spirit, matter unto matter. Whosoever a soul has need of fulfillment, see to it that you give it, pursuing no whoredoms of false pretendings, making no cessation in strivings toward wisdom, pouring out plentifully upon that searching one that which can ennoble him and cure his afflictions. But you do not smother him nor oppress with your prattlings. And so it is written, the promise that comes unto you, and a goodly bed whereon to sleep the slumbers of your return for something done or given. The world goes on to mighty acclaimings. The time of a vast judgment is under way. And we who have labored to bring man his victory perceive him as a creation seeking his reborning, but ignorant in his direction. Ever have I gone before you, showing you the way. Ever have I spoken with the lips of that wisdom given unto me. Ever have I come unto you, in that you have needed me. I have brought unto you truth. I have given unto you the best of that which is. Many men sit in high places, provoking the wits of humankind, telling of the doctrine. I say they have imagined conceits that were their own. They have taken a chalice and filled it with their own cramping and oppressing lack of resources of all manner, including truth. They have told humankind in various and sundry ways that the winepress of God gives forth a very bitter vintage. Then they offer you drink so that you find the sourness and mighty to show unto you your potion. Nay, God allows and forgives, picks you up in love and compassion. He allows the stumbling, but stands with the hand to lift you up and out of the ignorance. Vinegar soured comes into the lips of him who says, the Lord has appointed me to speak his unknown wisdom. God gives forth his wisdom and expects no man to be in the interpretation thereof. Man may speak, in my opinion, I discern, but when man pronounces it, it is this way, for I say it to be this way, he errs beyond his imaginings, for God's truth needs no man's interpretation. Interpretation and recognition, learning and knowing, can only come from meditation and confrontation within. When I tell you that I am given to speak his unknown wisdom, I speak from the dimension of etheric presence in his company, simply to relay that which is in my own knowing, for I have traveled the road from every direction, from the ethers and within the manifestation of experience. I am but a projection of himself, who pronounces that the time is at hand for the word to again be brought forth in clarity, that man can come into knowing and recognize misperception. Even then, I only bring that which I am instructed to bring forth. I have borne a testament into my Father's house, and it has within its chambers which received the tortured spirit, to heal it and raise it, and to give unto it a glory. These are my attests, uttered for your knowledge. These are that which I am, but that which I lay before you is that which is. We sent ahead with the seeds must plant well, for that which we plant will be the contents of the harvest. And the cycle of the returning unto God is the reward of that which is sown. And I have spoken of a time of vast glory which will arrive unto man. For if his lamp is bright, so shall radiance overcome him. He shall dwell in mansions not made with human hands. And as I have been given truth to give unto man, so I have given it forth. What matters it to me that evil and penurious men have taken my attestments and made them as a harp which plays on in discords? Are those discords mine? Is it I who has unstrung the harp? This is all that one can do. Give forth in truth, and that which is done with it rests upon the conscience of that one who betrays his brother. And at a time of most embarrassment will those who defile stand naked in their mantles of lies. And a very great blast shall surely scorn them. The truth shall be known, for the truth is that potion which man drinks into luxury and beauty, not to defilement nor to drunkenness. My works have come into many as sweet results of their toil. They have torn asunder and perplexed, and they have strengthened and ennobled. What comes now but the glories of reward for having grown into knowledge and understanding? I have told you fables by which you could have perceptions of meaning and definitions within explicitness, and I give unto you the chart and pointed the way for the passage. I come again into the places of God's creations, who have failed to understand and are ignorant of truth in the Father's promise to give and or restore into man full knowledge of his birthright. And I came not unto the universe to give it a fantasy, to embroil it in controversy, to say, this is how it is with hosts gone before you. Rather have I come to the world to point out its blessing, to give it its warrant under the higher understanding, to give forth the teachings that have blessed balance and loveliness for essence, to show man that through experience and truth comes eternal benefaction. The wayward have not heard me, nor will some hear me now. It is the way of experience. My mission is my presence. My joy is my reward. I have labored and I have tilled in the garden. Where the fruits have grown from the good seeds, I have a wondrously sweet garden. The host has been with me, handling me, my implements. And you have been with me, performing as my brothers. I have come with you, chosen you, beloved, in that your faithfulness has been many times proven, even if your memories fail you now. Now we embark into the long journey and the short path, the dark hours and the bright dawning. We see the sons of men approaching their wrought destiny. We have labored to acquaint with our majesty of purpose. They have wanted a doctrine that washes the hands, that cleans the fingers, that combs the beard and makes the tongue to utter set precepts. They desire a soft cloud upon which to rest without responsibility. I have shown them the radiance, and if they turn away, and unto that which is the adversary, so shall their perception of journey be longer and most difficult until the lessons are experienced and become the knowing. Precious ones who serve with me, our mission shall be performed nobly. So we're called the chosen of God, not the self-appointed, self-projected deceivers. Leaderships are honors unto them who have sought the blistering ways in courage, and they recognize not the brave strength of continuing to walk such a path in service. I have given such my presence. I have let them see the radiance. I say you are myself, in that you manifest unto me nightly, and within me as we walk this journey, set forth upon the path to map the way. And you often mix the teachings into a pot of confusion. That which is distressing is that which is manifest upon your place through ignorance and stupid foolishness. And that which is the truth of the way and the functioning of the universe, creation, and God is wondrous in its fullness and wisdom, balance and glory. Dwell not on that which is dowdy, but know that it is only a portion which must be overcome, and then turn heavily into the truth of the projections of the workings as given by your brothers, that you know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, etc. We bring with us the hope the man can receive the promise. I have given you my contract, sealed by my enforcements. The day dawns when a mighty retching attacks the bowels of them who stride falsely. They arise in their might and rave as a tornado, but the tornado laughs at them. Whenever could they lay seizure to it? The evil thought, the evil hour, the evil striding, verily the evil encroachment and the encompassment, these have their swinging as the pendulum that makes music ticking off these seconds of man's actions. But always the pendulum arrives at its breach in space. It then starts its returning. It never swings again to the point from which it started. And you must come to understand the mechanism, the physics. As man knows his evil, he swings back to goodness, for except through the expression can he know. Perhaps if you could ponder this a moment, that which is evil has its little hour, and that which is opposite of evil has its fond moment. The evil man waxes strong. The strong man waxes evil. These two are but goodness seen by their opposites. So ever be it to those who seek cleanly. And so shall the bright ones look upon endeavor made of the host, that life has its balance. I am your teacher, received of the stars. I am that which can define your journey. I have shown you my presence. I have attested my credentials. And I have come into the many race, many cycles and past seasons. I have pointed out the radiance. I have bidden man partake of it. Such has been my mission, uttered in eternity. Can I say unto the little man, speak sweetly of my majesty? How can he know majesty unless he has majesty dwelling within himself? But can he be little if he has majesty dwelling within? Can I speak unto the blind, bidding them look heavenward? How see they the stars, even if their fingers are not in their hand, are vague before them? I say, beloved one, we still have a mighty work to do, and we do it unto the glory of the Creator. I say we have a breach to heal, and we heal it sweetly by performing in excellence that which we have been sent and come willingly to do. We come and go mightily upon the stairways of cosmos, looking neither to the right nor to the left, but always directly as our mission is called to us. Thus have the speakings come to you to avow our origin, to give you a testament that God does his wonders regardless of an age or the witcheries of an instant. Think not in poverty, dear ones. Raise your humble, not foolishly self-discounting heads, for we are mighty men, marching down the stairs connecting the very stars. We have our way set for us. There are none to transcend us. We go and come that our purposes be manifest. And what have I said to you that has not reason in it? You have known a pure intent. You have heard a clear song. You have risen up from your beds of ignorance, knowing not yourselves, and greeted the morning and brought forth revealment. Do such things come by chance? Do they happen of whimsy? And has the Father simply impulse in his planning? Are not all things ordered? Thus the mighty men go forward. They swing a very bright armor, and the morning sun dances that their stride is a story and their sequence a pre-announcement. You have a calling that is prone to be spoken. You have a high mission that entices the spirit. You go and come among the hosts of baffling circumstances, looking hither and yon for sustenance and finding it in variance. If you beseech the higher source for your increase, that fails not. I say, Chelas, that I will sustain you through thousands league against you. I say that I bring you a mighty cup when those who would dismiss you from their counselings presently rise up and whine for your vintage. To fill them with some elixir that has a strong potency when you pass out to the high road and desert them to their bickerings. For shall it be if we will fulfill that which we have been sent to accomplish? The righteous have their increase. There comes no lowly son of toil who performs a gesture of nobility and service, without an importance that lifts him to splendor. Should I repeat my words? Must I tell you providently that the battle rages hourly and the horse goes forward, that the legions and compatriots move up with a swiftness? Or will you have it that the earth is pestilence and all men a stench, in that they move blindly without shepherds to guide them? This is my beloved word to you. Awake and persevere. Arise and make unpretentious recognition of great reasoning, disclosed in little happenings, which presently are great. And shake off your trembling of a deference to mammon. Know your Lord reigns, and his errands are merciful unto those who do mercy. For in the days that are upon you it shall be made manifest unto you, that the security of hope is as a rope giving handfuls for lifting yourselves for all impoverishments. You shall be given to see the great light, and it shall ennoble you, and you shall make a vast confederation, and it shall command me, so be it. Let them be made clear to you with a heart that has no faltering, with a grave at the end which has no power to sting you, with a song in the transaction that taints no wondrous. For thus is it written, that you should survive and perish not, nor do obedience unto mammon, and know his payment, nor cast your bread on many waters without its returning in loaves that overwhelm you. And so have I spoken. Be about your Father's business, for thus an accounting is rendered to you, that inasmuch as you do it, you have a vast increase, inasmuch as you persist in that which has summoned you. A call comes unto you to rise above vast waters when floods come on humankind, and the earth knows whirling and retching. I have spoken before, and I again speak, repeating my wisdom as given unto me. I say, you shall hear it as I come in my person. Go and wash, all of you, in the pool of clean waters. Soak in it your raiment. Pollute not your hands with vanquishing of treacheries, but lift them in service through sharing and answering of the summonings of your appointed mission. And thus have I said, and in again saying, I bless you. Teach my sheep to go in the right path, the path of absolute justice, each man as it falls unto him to perceive whereof he would have it measured unto him. And all shall be well with you, and the world whereof you do a service. My voice shall remain in your hearts as a fountain, gushing forth to refresh you into everlasting excellence. Please take my hand and come with me, for I am also about my Father's business. Living philosophy. To bring blessings upon yourself, bless your neighbor. To enrich yourself, enrich your neighbor. Honor your neighbor, and the world will honor you. To sorely hurt yourself, hurt your neighbor. And he who seeks love will find it by giving it. The measure of a man's wealth is the measure of wealth he has given. To enrich yourself with many friends, enrich your friends with yourself. And that which you take away from any man, the world will take away from you. And when you take the first step to give yourself to that which you want, it will also take its first step to give itself to you. Peace and happiness do not come to you from your horizon. They spread from you out to infinity beyond your horizon. The whole universe is a mirror that reflects back to you that which you reflect into it. Love is like unto the ascent of a mountain. It comes ever nearer to you as you ever nearer to it. Consider the purpose of life. Well, let us consider that the purpose of life is to reach the topmost pinnacle of human unfoldment. And that topmost pinnacle beyond which no man can go is the illumination into cosmic consciousness and the consciousness of Christ. We, therefore, are going to help every seeker by efforting to illumine the path to that supreme goal, so that he can become aware of his own immortal divine self. It is not enough to explain the working of the universe, the flow of electricity in God through manifestation. You must be given insight as to how to touch and use that which is within, that you can find your own truth. The divine spark of that light lies dormant in every human being. As long as that light does light, one is aware only of one's mortal body, which lives and dies and has physical desires one is forever satisfying. That awareness of physical existence lasts for many centuries after primitive man emerges from the jungle, and before the dawn of his consciousness began to awaken a slight awareness of the light of his divine power. And during that period he is dominated by his body desires to such an extent that he thinks and believes that his body is his self. And out of millions of sensually dominated humans, however, comes one who awakens that unquenchable divine spark, which all inherit from God, and becomes somewhat extraordinary during his human experience, for he is given to bear extraordinary personages as geniuses or prodigy. This is the first step away from the purely physical human toward the spiritual mind goal. Every genius prodigy has begun to develop God awareness within and knows that he is mind and not body. All body-dominated human beings think outwardly through their senses. They can hear sounds with the ears of their body. They can see objects with physical eyes and record the memories of such sensations upon their brains. And every genius thinks inwardly toward his mind instead of outwardly toward his senses. The genius can hear sounds coming out of the silence with his inner ears. He can vision non-existent forms with his inner eyes, and he can feel the rhythms of God's thinking and his knowing, which are a blank slate to the man who believes that he is his body. When a human rises to the exalted state of genius, he becomes a co-creator with God. The beginning of creative expression in man is the first evidence of the unfolding light of his genius, for no man who is purely sense-controlled can create. He can remember and repeat the records which he has imprinted upon his physical brain, but his brain has no knowledge. Therefore, he cannot create. Man can create only with his mind, and the brain is not the mind. The brain is merely the seat of sensation and the electric recorder of sensation. Yes, this information has been given forth before through your connections with your cosmic brothers, who have come into knowing and would assist you in your lessons if you will but allow them to share. The hosts have been sent to ensure that you are afforded the opportunity of having truth from which to discern your destiny and divinity. It is important, dear ones, and bears repetition, if you are to understand through all the misperceptions given forth to date. You are coming down to a cycle, finish line, and it is time of becoming enlightened unto how things really function and operate, and cast aside the lies and misperceptions, lest your decisions be indeed costly to your journey. Human experiences are in segments of very tiny time frames which must be understood. Humans must think outwardly through the senses in order to live and function in a sense-objective universe. But the genius, who thinks inwardly toward the light of his self, can vision or imagine that which spiritually exists and can then think outwardly through his senses and cause his mentally visioned image to exist physically. This is what creation is and what the genius creator does. Transform thought. So what is our first task if we are to accomplish enlightenment? It is to teach you how to transform your thinking so that the wondrous genius within you will appear and intensify to that high state which transforms and transmutes you into the next stage of spiritual unfoldment. Few great geniuses have given the world its culture in all of the arts, and the great immortals among them are the few chosen, are the few whose works will endure as long as there is history. There have been, however, many geniuses whose works have raised the standard of world culture, even though they do not stand out as being supreme in the light of their own immortality. The journey of life is indeed long, and one must come to know that it requires many experiences and manifestations to arrive at the destination in the light of all knowing. Each life, however, is another step toward the goal, and each day of each life can be a greater step than the one before. Each experience is vastly important, far beyond that which registers on the consciousness at any one moment. And when you arise from each period of sleep with a wholly regenerated body, the seed of all that has transpired in all your life unfolds within the new cycle of life to bring you still closer to the door of immortal light. Each step upward toward the light is a glorious one, for it becomes ever nearer and is worth the effort of its attainment, while each step the other way toward the dark is ignominious and fraught with cosmic frustration, which may take many experiences to overcome. Hence, it is that you must go forward to attain that glory, and these lessons are for the purpose of giving you the knowledge which will make it possible for you to go forward towards the light to any extent that you desire without limitation, for man's limitations are set by himself. Cosmic knowledge can be shared with others who desire to attain it, but only those who have attained can give it unto another. Of course, the other must accept the gift, lest it be worthless. God has given that rarest of all gifts to some of you for the purpose of regenerating this decadent age by bringing the cosmic age into existence through those higher beings of earth who are ready to receive such knowledge. And to all who reach toward the light, the gift is offered. The knowledge of God's ways are brought forth. Likewise, the processes and laws governing the construction of matter and electric motion, so that other men may likewise know how God builds his universe and destroys it in eternally repeated life-death cycles, and also knowledge of how the Creator divides his light waves of thinking into balanced male-female pairs of sexed opposites to continue the building of his sexed electric universe. But this one portion of knowledge is not enough to bridge the chasm which man has presented as blockage between himself and God. Therefore, you must look at a balanced living philosophy, which conforms with God's ways, processes, and laws. And if you have the whole, you will be able to grasp the peace, happiness, and prosperity which conformity with God's laws can alone bring to wearing, fear-ridden man who unknowingly defines God's laws, or blatantly, knowingly defies those laws. And man has not yet realized in the building of his individual or collective destiny that God will work with him in the unfolding of his destiny. But he most certainly will not work for him. You must knowingly create yourself and your destiny with him and in accordance with his law of balanced interchange in all transactions. To work with God knowingly, you must know God and his ways. You can know God only by knowing yourself as mind instead of thinking of yourself as sensed body. The transition from sense-body awareness to God-mind awareness comes to the human race very slowly. We wish to bring these lessons unto you so that you can come to know God as the one reality and His universe as a simulation of reality. Man can think only what he knows in his mind or senses through his body. And likewise, the same principle applies to nations. Men and nations become what they think, and witness this happening before your eyes. The point is, however, that the perception is being placed there by others to manipulate for every human physical reason. Standards are determined by what people and nations come to think. High standards are attained through mind-determined, controlled thinking, and low standards are attained through sensed thinking. The standards of individual and national thinking have been steadily and dangerously lowering since world wars began to destroy world culture by using the wealth of the nations for destroying themselves and man, instead of conserving it for the building up of man. The physical world of man could easily disappear into another period of dark centuries, whether on this planet or another, for half the world is already in the dark ages of understanding while mired in the dark ignorance. But man's spiritual world cannot disappear. The divine light in man cannot be quenched. And civilization will survive and grow toward the light only in the measure in which mankind knows the light. That means a lot of tedious lessons to be learned and practiced. So we are coming to increase the measure of your knowing, in order that you may become consciously aware of your source to such an extent that you can knowingly say, I and my Father are one, and have fully comprehension of its profound meaning. If you have already gleaned full comprehension of truth from the journal on light, then you may find this boring. I suggest, however, that if you perceive it such, you have not nearly learned your lessons. So much foolishness has been tossed about in the mystical aspect that even I hesitate to utilize some of the terms of the so-called modern New Age concept. The oldest communion known between God and man is through meditation, and yet you have all but destroyed the beauty of the meaning of the communion through your misuse. That is always the thrust of the adversary, to draw you from your lighted path via disappointment and lack of success in communion. And if you fail, you will discount the next who comes and offers information by the same label. So be it. All we can do is offer the cup unto you, and if you drink not, so be it. The connection to God is instant, with the perception of the connection is elusive. And we shall ponder together and see if we can open some of those short-circuited communication lines. You work so hard at that which you think you need to make contact, that you actually miss the contact. First, you must know that which you are efforting to accomplish, not simply play a game at location, dress, food intake, etc., for all of these things are of the physical senses and have not to do with the mind thought of God. There are physical, sensual methods to assist in focus of energy, but that is the only connection of ritual, only as a focus of thought energy. And I ask for rest now for my scribe, and may you be in the putting aside of your preconceived notions and allow us to walk through these instructions. If you know them already, you are ahead. If you know them not, and they discount that which you thought was the way, check to see why you are still looking for the way. So be it. God grants that which is petitioned for in sincere truth. The call compels the answer. In infinite love and compassion, I take leave of this focus, that we might find overall balance within the whole. I place the blessings of the authority given within and through my humble being, that we might walk as brothers and find the truth of our journey. I am Sananda. I am a Avaton of the one lighted source. Who might you be?